Characters have to be flawed, you know, really, even when they don't think they are. That's what makes them interesting. So as a writer, it's my job to create characters who are flawed, who have a very strong purpose in the story. So my characters have to want something and want it really badly. And then it's my job not to give them what they want. Actually, I get to play God and I get to say, no, you can't have this. Or I give them what they want and then I make them decide that they want something else. So it's about overcoming obstacles all the time. So that's one of the things that I think about when I'm shaping my characters. My novels are really character-driven, I would say, most of them. So with the new novel, Mr. Loverman, it began with a character called Barrington Walker, who was this homosexual 74-year-old London Caribbean man. And his voice came to me. And in actual fact, the character came from a small passport photo that I found. And I was inspired by the picture in the photo and started writing in the voice of the character. And his voice, I loved his voice, and it just took off. And in a sense, the character then began to write himself. And through writing the character, the story then emerged. With my book, Mr. Loverman, a couple of the characters, the middle-aged female characters, are based on sort of very loosely on women that I know, but I sort of disguise them enough that they probably won't recognise themselves. You know, I've written 8 books now, and many of them are in the first person, or I have multiple first-person characters, narratives. And what happens is that the magic of creative writing is that you don't quite know where your characters are going to take you. You don't quite know where the story's going to go. And that really is the creative process. It sort of almost seems to come out of nothing. So I find with my characters that they start to speak to me. And it may sound a bit weird to say that, but I only have so much information about them in my head. And it's actually through the act of writing that they start to evolve. Writing is almost like being an actor when I'm writing in the first person, because I inhabit that character. And I feel like I am them, in a sense, for the period that I'm writing the book. And then when the book ends and their life ends as such, then I kind of mourn sometimes the loss of them, that I'm no longer becoming that character, because as a writer of fiction, I am becoming other people all the time. That's how I spend most of my time, which is a bit strange, but that's the act of writing. The thing about third person is that you can have multiple perspectives. You know, so we have like the omniscient point of view, which means that the writer can get inside everybody's heads. Or you can have limited omniscient point of view, where the writer gets in certain characters' heads, or you can have what we call close third, which is, or free and direct style, which is when it's written in the third person, but it's almost like it's inside a character's head. So there are more options with the third person, but it's also a matter of preference and really where you feel perhaps that your skills lie as a writer. So I became a writer. I didn't attend any creative writing courses or anything. I became a writer through reading, and I read avidly from as soon as I could, really. You know, initially going to the library every Saturday and getting out books, and then when I could afford to buy books, buying books. And I've loved books all my life, and I learnt how to write through enjoying literature, you know, reading other novelists' work and sort of absorbing it. You will find the way that will work for you with your characters. You know, I teach creative writing, so I do lots of character exercises with my students, and some of them need to know a lot about their characters before they start writing. Others will start writing and then the characters will start to tell them who they are. Some people plot their works of fiction very heavily. Other people are much more organic about it. And then there are people in between. So I think the thing about creative writing and writing fiction is that you will find your own way through.